Did you know this psychology fact? Your spirit is ready for the greatest drain on your joy, your strength, and your very essence isn't external. It's the invisible, cumulative weight of past shame you have chosen to carry on the sacred place of your anointing. The heavens call this the burden of the unhealed. Every moment of stress, every wound, every lie whispered against you, your soul and your spirit have been silently keeping a record. Your relationships, your destiny, even your ability to receive abundance. All of it is choked by this one psychological pattern of allowing fear to sit where your crown belongs. But here is where the enemy wins. Most people stop here and assume the solution is just trying harder or praying more. That is the biggest surrender of your power. Here is the painful truth: your mind is holding the weight of old anxiety, guilt, and expectations that were never yours to meet. You have been using your physical body, your tension, your low posture, the weakness of your spirit, as a visible testament that you are still bound. You are literally wearing a heavy veil of unforgiveness. You've been trying to fix the symptom. You've been treating the exhaustion, the confusion, the lack. But this next part explains why the promised breakthrough hasn't manifested in your life yet. This happens because the enemy's whisper is this: if I keep the weight on my head, I'm safe from the risk of my true calling. Your soul does this to protect you from the responsibility of your greatness, but the reality is you are confusing the wilderness trial with your eternal identity. The physical heaviness is simply the outward reflection of an inner narrative of bondage. If that hit you, good. It means it was meant for you. Because here is the liberating truth you have been avoiding: you are not defined by what broke you. You are crowned by the promises you have healed through. If you want to break this cycle, activate the crown realignment habit, each that God has already liberated you from. Your emotional attachment to the familiar pain is the final frontier to your freedom. But here's the part nobody wants to admit, the part that explains why the reset isn't just a promise, but an active, undeniable force in your life right now. While you were sleeping, a cosmic eraser moved across the ledgers of your past. Not to erase the lessons, but to erase the legal claims the enemy had against you because of those wounds. The old narrative, the old identity, the old limitations, all of it is being wiped clean in the spirit realm. Heaven is saying, your story is too big for the smallness of your past. And this next part explains exactly how this reset is activating in three powerful dimensions. What transpired in the unseen realm was not merely a spiritual correction, it was a profound, irreversible three-dimensional divine reset designed to completely liberate you from the shackles of yesterday. Dimension I, the reset of identity, from wounded to warrior. The first dimension of this reset is a radical transformation of your core identity. For too long, you have subconsciously allowed the wounds of your past to define who you are. The betrayal became your story, the failure became your struggle, the loss became your defining moment. This gave the enemy a legal foothold in your self-perception. The problem: you've been wearing the uniform of a victim, not because you are one, but because the memory of the past has been stronger than the promise of your future. This has caused you to shrink from opportunities, doubt your inherent worth, and fear the very blessings God is sending. The reset: heaven is now declaring, your wounds are not your identity, they are the battle scars of a survivor chosen for a greater purpose. The cosmic eraser isn't making you forget the pain, but it's detaching your self-worth from the pain. It's shifting your core identity from the one who suffered to the one who overcame. This reset empowers you to look at your past not with sorrow, but with the authority of someone who defeated it. You are being refitted with the uniform of a triumphant warrior. Dimension 2, the reset of memory, from anchored to accelerated. The second dimension of this reset is a profound re-engineering of how your mind processes past events. The enemy's greatest trick was to keep you mentally and emotionally anchored to the past, forcing you to constantly revisit the pain. This created a cycle of stagnation. The problem: your memory was functioning like a broken record, constantly replaying the narratives of pain, fear, and resentment. This kept you from fully engaging with the present and boldly stepping into the future. You were spiritually stuck in a loop, unable to gain true momentum. The reset, God is activating a memory recalibration. This isn't about forgetting, it's about recontextualizing. You will begin to see your past pain not as a curse, but as a crucible that forged your character, a wilderness that taught you divine dependence, a delay that prepared you for massive acceleration. The emotional charge, the sting of the memory, is being neutralized. You will be able to recall the event without reliving the trauma. This reset cuts the spiritual anchor, allowing you to move with unprecedented speed into your new season. Dimension 3, the reset of assignment, from limited to limitless. The third and most powerful dimension of this reset is a complete overhaul of your divine assignment. Your past pain and limited identity created self-imposed ceilings on what you believed you could achieve. You played small, thinking your brokenness disqualified you. The problem: you underestimated your capacity. You shrank your vision to fit the size of your wounds. You rejected opportunities because you felt unworthy. This kept you from stepping into the fullness of your true, limitless calling. The reset: heaven is removing every self-imposed ceiling, every limiting belief born from past trauma. God is declaring, your assignment is not limited by your past, it is magnified by your resilience. Your greatest anointing will flow from the very place of your deepest wound, because that's where you learn dependence on Him. Your past pain is now a qualification, not a disqualification. This reset empowers you to embrace an assignment far beyond anything you ever dared to dream, because the limitations have been surgically removed. This divine reset is more than a spiritual shift, it is a cosmic act of sovereign love. It acknowledges the weight of your journey, but decisively intervenes to declare that the story is no longer one of enduring trauma, but one of emerging triumph. Let's dissect the cosmic eraser that moved across your past ledgers, hook number 5. This is not about selective amnesia, it's about legal nullification. The enemy held certain rights to harass you through the memory of your past, through the unresolved pain points, through the agreements you unknowingly made with shame and fear. The cosmic eraser didn't just delete the memory, it deleted the enemy's legal claim on that memory. It's like a judge striking a false testimony from the record, rendering it completely without power or influence in future proceedings. Your freedom is legally secured. This leads to a profound understanding of emotional detachment without amnesia. The goal of the reset isn't to make you forget the betrayals, but to sever the emotional chains that bound you to those events. You can remember the event, acknowledge it as part of your history, but it no longer has the power to trigger a physiological or emotional meltdown. You are now the observer of your past, not its prisoner. This is true healing, the ability to revisit the scar without bleeding again. The reset of identity, Dimension I, is crucial because the enemy's first line of attack is always identity theft. They want you to believe you are your wound. This divine recalibration means you are being reminded, not of who you were when the pain hit, but of who you were created to be before the pain ever touched you. This is a return to your factory settings of divine perfection and purpose. You are not a repair job, you are a relaunch. Consider the memory recalibration, Dimension 2. The brain is a powerful organ, and it tends to prioritize negative memories for survival purposes. This spiritual reset is intervening in that neurological pathway. It is infusing those painful memories with a new perspective, a kingdom perspective. You begin to see the wilderness as a training ground, the betrayal as a lesson in discernment, the loss as a clearing for something greater. The old soundtrack of lament is being replaced with an anthem of gratitude for the resilience you now possess. This is not toxic positivity, it is divine reframing. And the reset of assignment, Dimension 3, is perhaps the most exciting part. Your past pain, particularly when it was handled with grace and dependence on God, has made you an expert in areas where others merely theorize. Your wound is now your unique, authoritative voice. Your empathy comes from your experience. Your resilience is your testimony. The very brokenness you tried to hide is now the key to unlocking healing for others. Your assignment is not just magnified, it's matured by everything you went through. You are now uniquely qualified to carry a greater weight of glory and impact. This entire reset is designed to stop the cycle of spiritual recycling, where you keep revisiting and re-experiencing old pain, effectively recycling the enemy's garbage. Heaven has initiated a divine recycling program, where the trash of your past is being transmuted into the treasure of your future. The old story doesn't get a sequel, it gets a glorious, triumphant ending. The presence of the archangels preparing your next assignment is not hyperbole. It signifies that your previous assignment, which was hindered by your past, is now being elevated. Your new assignment requires a completely unburdened, reset vessel. They are making ready the path for the version of you that is free, healed, and walking in radical authority. They are excited because they've seen this transformation before, and they know the immense power that comes when a chosen one finally detaches from their old story. If that truth, that your past is no longer your identity, but the fuel for your future, hit you hard, good. It means your spirit is recognizing the sound of your liberation. Here is the truth you've been avoiding: your continued attachment to the old narrative, your identification with the wound, is the final barrier to your full, unhindered breakthrough. You cannot step into the new thing God is doing while dragging the corpse of yesterday's pain. The time for grieving the old story is over, the time for living the new story is now. To fully activate this divine reset and permanently detach from your old story, you must make a radical, public, to heaven, declaration. Here is the detachment and declaration vow. Identify the anchor. In your mind, identify the single most prominent wound, betrayal, or failure that still defines your old story. Name it. Cut the cord, spiritual act with conviction. Say this out loud: I cut every spiritual and emotional cord to name the wound/betrayal/failure. My identity is no longer defined by this event. My past pain is now simply a lesson, not a limitation. Declare your new story. Immediately follow with this declaration: I am not defined by what tried to kill me. I am defined by the God who rescued me. My story is now one of radical reset, unstoppable acceleration, and limitless assignment. I am the chosen one, healed, whole, and fully empowered. Live the new reality. For the next 24 hours, consciously correct every thought that tries to pull you back to the old narrative. Replace it with your new declaration. Act as if the reset is already complete, because in heaven, it is. Most people will hear this message, feel the stirring, but ultimately choose the familiar comfort of their old chains. They will return to the narratives that feel safe, even if they are prisons, forever rehearsing a past that God has already erased from their future. Don't be most people. You are the chosen one. The reset has been activated. The cosmic eraser has moved. Your old story is finished. Your new story, boundless and brilliant, is now beginning. Heaven is not just waiting for you, heaven is cheering for you. Step into it. Live it. And let your life become the undeniable proof that God turns every wound into a weapon, every scar into a sacred story.
Beloved child, listen closely, for I speak not from a distance, but from the heart of your own existence. Know this: you are not separate. Every breath you draw, every creature you see, every star in the night sky, all are woven from the same infinite thread of light. Stop seeking me externally. I reside within the silent wisdom of your being and the shared suffering and joy of all creation. Your purpose is not complex. It is to love unconditionally, yourself, your neighbor, and the broken world I entrusted to you. Look for the good, be the peace. Forgive quickly, act with compassion always, and remember that even in the deepest darkness, you carry a spark of the eternal. You are immensely loved beyond measure. Go now, and let your light shine.